Okay, Neverwinter has released a new sneak peek at what they're claiming is Mod 22, a Prophecy Fulfilled. So we're in this Prophecy Now part where we're doing a three-parter, and this is a long drawn-out thing that's, it's separate from the game somewhat, but something like we did when we were in Everness and we had this long-term campaign that we could do. We're doing through another one of those. But at the same time, in this one here, they're showing it to be the final destination of what happens during that current campaign, the prophecy that we're in now, and they're calling it a prophecy fulfilled. So it just came out. I was going to do one on the last one that came out, and whenever I started to search down the thing and look into each one of them that I saw that actually had the video for it, there were so many people that already had put it out that I decided I was probably not needed. Probably the same, and very few people will see that as it is. But let's take a straight look at this, and I'll give you some thoughts on it right off the bat with what's been going on in the game. Ooh. Okay, so Echoes of Prophecy is what we're in now. But I guess the key point that everybody's noticing here is that a dragon's eye is shown here. Now, they recently took all the dragons out of the game. Literally, yes, a game called Dungeons and Dragons has took the dragons out of the game themselves, and they gave them back to us in a slight way. Eben Downs and a few of the other sites, the dragon is no longer there. But whenever you do this latest prophecy that's there, the bones of whenever you already had killed him are there, and you have to go through this other part of your campaign if you've done this. But they're supposed to be bringing more dragons, and there's been this thing said by themselves about it coming and everything. And then when we didn't get it in this, and then that little thing about not even dragons, but one look at their bones of where we killed them before and a redo on that, people aren't satisfied, and I guess so they went ahead and throw this out a little, a bone to throw us a little bit early. First thoughts looking at this, it looks like a red dragon. It's really in the darkness, though, quite a bit, and almost looks like a purple dragon with a little bit of red highlights. And at first thought I was thinking, well, maybe they're redoing Lostmouth's dungeon. They could make a whole campaign out of that situation. Could do a lot of things with it. They could make it a lot more than a sprint dungeon like they've had it for so long. Although it would, it's really a good dungeon to run, and something was pretty quick, I guess. But the only thing quicker than that was shores that we used to run through. But then his eye color changes here, and that makes you think of something else here, and it turns blue. There's a change that goes on, and he's shows him with that portal there. And I could go off about this hex rosette and what that means in ancient times and everything and how that's hooked up to the game. Just in symbology with stuff. Or the fact that it was the man's shadow that was what was activating the portal and situation and how that works out. But more importantly here, they recently took Tiamat offline. That's the famous five-headed dragon, queen of all and so on. And that really goes back to old mythology with Tiamat, Bahamut and stuff and Sumerians. And they thought it led to the creation of the world and all kinds of concepts. But they took that out of the game. But I only see one head here. And really, it's not coming out of the portal or being called up out of the portal. The portal is small enough, and he calls out of there, sparks show up, and then it flashes on him waking up the dragon, but we didn't get to see what came in the portal there. So there's something probably a little different than that, but I don't think it has to do with the dragons that we fought around in the different areas that we used to have to, although they should definitely bring those back and so on. But there's the other concept here. And I still wonder if you play the game and you haven't gotten to the level or started up the campaign and you go, do you get to fight the old dragons like you used to, like you could until they started this new one, or is that all turned off? But I'd have to start a new character and run through there and see if any way you could find that. But they're redoing Tiamat, and it just seems to coincide with it so well, and I think that that's what's going on here, which is pretty cool. I mean, Tiamat's gone through a couple of iterations, and it's been one of those things right off the bat from Well of Dragons that we were in. The Well of Dragons still exists, and you can do the dragon run around on it, for I've done it quite a few times on my bard here and gotten through the campaign by doing so. But then also there's this idea that they just took Tiamat offline, and right when it got to the end of that, I just needed 2 more Linu's favors, so 2 more completions of fighting Tiamat and winning, and I would have got through, and they dissed me on it. Luckily, I had some more Genie's gifts, and I just threw it into the coffer there, which will give you one if you get 1,500 points or whatever, and I ran that up. When the next week started, I ran my campaigns through that in there, made a treasures through that in there, and then a couple of Genie's gifts and pop, and I went ahead and were able to pop it. But it kind of sucked that they turned it off right at the point where I was trying to get at least the new bard through, and everybody was getting the bard through, and I guess the getting the bard was supposed to be mod 21. But this extra on the side thing that's going on now is just like mod 19B that they gave us that went along with the Avernus campaign and made it more spicy, and of course got people very interested in it, and hope it'll do the same thing for this. And you could say that giving us the bard now, giving us that new campaign and the threefold situation that they've got going on, and then it leading to a redone dungeon again for us as opposed to a brand new thing. But let's see how they do this. It might be a brand new thing. Is actually mod 21 though, isn't it? Not 22, but so I guess we're legally skipping through numbers here whenever they used to put out a certain number of mods per year. But this Dragon Eye is pretty wicked right there. You can go back and look at it again. I could only get the thing, I think it's in 720, so it's not really that fantastic of a sharpness. But yeah, looks like we're gonna get something new with dragons, and I'm going to go ahead and go with they're redoing Tiamat, so that's what this has to do with. But there's going to be some little flair and probably some idea where you're going to have to go through some little deal and then qualify from it. And I wonder if they're going to set it up to where right when you get through level 3 of the one that you've done, of this prophecy, that it opens that dungeon and it's there for you, and hopefully they have it there. They do have a couple of months here to get it done with, so because we don't even get the last one till December. Of course, it only took a few days to do each one of them through the campaign here, done the right way. So, would we get it in December or January? Well, it said January on the thing that goes along with it, and also what it is doing now is enveloping together. It's saying 1, 2, 3 you're doing now, and then bam, forth, coming in January. Mod 22, A Prophecy Fulfilled. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Peace.